O just said that he doesn't like walking. So we were responding to that, and we figured you're probably walking like right now doing the interview.
This is what I meant, Roddy. I meant like going to a ball game, like standing in the outfield for 4 hours doesn't really sound inviting to me. I can walk 18 holes, but doing that, like I don't like standing around. I'd rather kind of be doing something active
or sitting.
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you do last night to celebrate? Did you blow off some steam, or are you back chucking iron this morning in the gym?
Well, a little bit of both. You know, it was a good night. The boys played well, and you got to take a few minutes to enjoy it, and then kind of start gearing up for the next one.
What do you like? You say you take a few minutes to enjoy, but now is it all about the pre-scout, and you've got pretty much two teams to watch, and are you watching as a fan, or is it just basically as a coach as to what you think you're going to see come the next round?
Well, it kind of flips now. So, now it's real. We're going to play one of these teams. And so I had been watching as a fan, and now you're kind of, all right, we got to get a little more serious here and, start obviously preparing. But, that I haven't done that yet. We'll get into that tomorrow. But obviously tonight watching the game, that's kind of how we'll switch how we view it.
Roddy, I know as a player, being your teammate after a loss, I know how you acted. You were pissed off, and it was the routine that a lot of us had. As the coach, you guys had a blowout there in Jersey. You said your team didn't play very well, and that's all there needed to be said. How do you regroup as a coach as opposed to a player and kind of get the guys fired up again after a loss like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, tell me if I'm right here on this. So, when you lose a game like that where you have no chance, it's over. But it's done. You're like, shit. You can move right on, right? Like the one that hurts is you lose in overtime or something where you had the chance. You could have won. Those ones keep you up all night. But when you just get blown out, you're like, okay, well, everybody just moves on. Didn't matter what anyone did. We weren't winning that one. So I think those ones are way easier to come back from. If you're going to lose in the playoffs, I think that's the way to lose, to be honest with you.
Well, what about being on the flip side of that? Like, if you blow out the opponent, are you watching the tape the next day? Are you saying, like, that's what we need to do, understanding that opponent isn't going to play like that the next time you face them?
Yeah. Well, you're watching it either way. You're gonna take your lessons from it. The good, the bad. You're going to say, well, if we got blown out, I'm going to show 10 clips. It's pretty easy, boys. This is what happened. Or whatever, what we're not doing, or whatever. And if you win, you're going to say the same thing. We got to keep doing this. So you're going to pull learners out of each game. It's just, your question is, can you move on? It's way easier to move on, I think, as a player and as a coach when the ones, if it's a one-off. Now, if you're getting blown out every night, we're going to have a different, conversation. But for our group, it doesn't happen very often.
Rod, when you talk about your group, and we've talked about it on the show at length in watching from afar, you guys have an identity of a hardworking group. You've got some skill. You defend very well. You've used 3 different goaltenders this season. Is it just a formula that you pretty much, it's next man up, given some of the injuries that you've had as well, and you feel like you can have success with whoever's out there if they buy into what you're selling?
Yeah, I think it, for sure. I mean, we don't want to have next man up, but it's just the way it's gone on. So, I mean, everybody would be saying the exact same things, every team, and it's the way it has to be. I mean, what are you going to do, right? Like, the alternative is what, make excuses and cry about it. Nobody cares. They're going to, we got to just move on, and it really doesn't affect your job, right? Like, if I'm playing with O and he's out, I'm not going to change my game because someone else got replaced there. I just got to worry about what I got to do. And that's kind of how we've approached it. And the whole myth, like, for me, it's funny. People say we don't have stars or superstars. I think we have a ton of them. It's just they are putting the team first. And, I think that's the key, to be honest with you.
You got one superstar, Roddy, who's undercover, and I think if he was in a major Canadian market, he would win Norris after Norris, and that's Slavin. He's one of my favorite players to watch. And about 10 times a game, he makes an unbelievable defensive play or just a real smart play that's just on the down low, and it's not really like the superstar thing, but he's so good. Can you talk about the impact that he makes in a game?
Yeah, so great observation, right? Like, there's so many times where you go, oh, we're hosed. we're hosed here, and all of a sudden nothing comes of it. And it's because what you just said, he gets his little stick on it, or he makes the right read and jumps a 2-on-1 that would have been a 2-on-1, or whatever it is before it even materializes, but you could see it was about to. And then he jumps in the play, makes great plays with the puck. I can't say enough good things about him. Like I've been around the game a long time. I don't know if I've seen a better defensive defenseman in the game, and I don't use him on the power play ever. So it's not like I could, and maybe I should, but I don't want him out there 30 minutes a night. But he can make plays just as well. So he's an all-around guy. I agree with you. If he was playing up there with you guys, I'm sure he'd be in the conversation a little more.
What about Brent Burns? What impact has he had coming to your organization? Obviously, superstar defenseman in San Jose for many years, and all of a sudden you get to see him up close and personal every day. What do you get out of Brent Burns?
Yeah. Wow, what a guy! We know he's a superstar because we watched him forever. But you don't really know how he's going to fit in. Is he one of these guys that needs to do it his way or whatever? Couldn't have been any better. Like he's constantly trying to get better, and that's why he's so good. Right? He's not satisfied, even though he's got everything but a Stanley Cup. I mean, he's done everything individually you could do. I don't know where we'd be without him, to be honest. I mean, he's especially with the injuries we have, he's providing instant offense pretty much every time he touches the puck. And yet he's still trying to get better on the defensive side of things, which at that age, how many years he's played and what he's done, I think that says a lot about him. So we got him. Like I say, he's 38 now, but the way he takes care of himself, I think he's got a little left in the tank here. And I think he's one of the reasons why we're still playing around. There's no question.
We're chatting with Brind'Amour. What's the policy with Burns and all those animals he owns? He's got like all those snakes and like spiders and stuff. Any of those kicking around the room or what?
No. Those are down in his ranch in Texas. They didn't have any of those here. So
did you guys go there when you were in Dallas?
We didn't. It's a little too far away. So thankfully, but he's been great. You heard how when he first showed up here, he just had his RV, his house wasn't ready, and just literally pulled up into the RV park and camped out for a month and hung out with people. And he's an amazing dude.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah. He's from Barrie.
Yeah.
It's not like he's from Tennessee or something.
Dude, the guy's a legend. He wheeled down there in an RV.
Yeah, that's electric, man. That's awesome. And obviously Freddie Anderson's a guy that we track a lot up here. And, man, he looked good last night, and you've been kind of in and out of the lineup throughout the year. But what did you see out of his game last night, and how beneficial can he be for your group if he's healthy and playing like that?
Well, it's the key, right? We all know it. If you don't have solid goaltending, you're not going to make it. You're going to run into a team that has it for sure at some point. So he's been, he was out the first series, couldn't get in there till the end, and then since he's come back, he's been just solid, right? Like he's given us a chance, making a couple big saves when we need him, and obviously you have to have that to continue. So happy for him because you guys know he's been under the microscope a little bit, and I'm glad he's gotten this opportunity, and hopefully he keeps running with it.
Roddy, best of luck moving forward, buddy. Really appreciate you taking time. Do me a favor, say hi to Jake, say hi to Huff, and say hi to Bobby Gorman for me.
You got it. I will, man. You got it. Take care, guys.